You see me, suit and tie, I'm looking fly, in the flesh, in the cloth. Whoa! It's your boy, the soldi man, Saintly Silas. I'm here, and I'm here with a very important individual. Introduce yourself.
Yo, 18-year-old, I don't even know what the fuck I am really, but 18-year-old producer slash vocal artist, South Carolina, Zasteria slash Astro. Yeah, got much to say about myself, but I make good music. Yeah, you should check me out.
Don't sleep on them. First things first, don't sleep on them. Carolina, stand up. Yo, South Carolina got the best state flag. They got the palm tree on it. I love South Carolina. I probably got some cousins down there for real. All right, so listen, let's hop to it, bro. 18, in the height of your life, music. It's at the core of it. What made you start doing music?
Most of my family did music. Like they grew up wanting to do music and wanting to blow up off of it, but some of them got close with nobody really ever did. So whenever I grew up, growing up around it sort of just kind of influenced me to do it. I guess it's more so just family thing, just growing up around it more so just was you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it too. And growing up around different kinds of music, because I didn't grow up around rap and shit like most niggas did. I grew up around a lot of fucking rock, and I went from rock to dubstep, then from dubstep to fucking dubstep just sent me I don't know how, but dubstep just sort of sent me to rap, and then I went from rap to sizzle core and shit like that, and then from there it was just everywhere. So
I had a serious dubstep phase in middle school, and I remember that was the first time I really found myself getting obsessed with music by myself, looking through all the songs. Oh, the bass drop is so hard on this one, you know. And I think because of the way the internet works, and because it's the medium in which we work through, almost everything influences each other, you know. More and more often, the people I interview, they have similar stories where they pull influences from all types and genres of music and not just one. Which of one artist from each genre, which one had the most lasting effect on you? Which one was the most influential?
Oh shoot! So you said one of each, or just one from
one from each genre?
From each genre. Okay, so I want to say Evanescence, which is a punk rock band. Evanescence really kind of built some of my flows. They kind of expand, listening to their music kind of expanded my flows and shit a lot. With dubstep, I don't really want to say dubstep really did anything for me, but Monster Cat, I used to listen to a lot of fucking Monster Cat. So I feel that kind of adapted me to different beats and different styles and shit. But whenever it came to rap, first it was X, of course every fucking wannabe rapper now from 2016 either they came from X and shit. But X, and then it went from X to believe it or not, I don't know if you know what this is, but Ace Comet, that's who I really started growing off of. Let's say X and Ace Comet, really.
Okay, so all of these people, like you said, they have good influence, and they stick with people. And I feel we now live in the age of content creators. Either everybody wants to be one, or people take great inspiration from these content creators. So now that you're a micro celebrity, people look to you scrolling through the Instagram and they see you. What's the message for your audience?
Such a hard question, because that's what I've been trying to figure out lately myself. I've been trying to it's kind of a theme, really, sort of, but really know what I am, because I switch it up every other day, really. I don't really know, I don't really know what I put out there. I just make stuff and just do stuff. I mean, obviously, I try to be a positive person, but other than that, I don't really have one. And that's what I've been trying to build on for the past few months. I've been speaking to a lot of people about that. That's where I fall off at. I don't really have one.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that's an opportunity for people to look to you as an example. They just look at your actions and deduce that so-called message or theme that way. Oftentimes, man, you could talk about Uzi, right? Lil Uzi like doesn't have an outright message. Like he doesn't preach and go blah 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 talking about whatever. But when you do see him, he always has this aura about him. His music has this energy about it that makes people feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is, that's the message. Be yourself. A lot of people like say that, like be yourself. Whatever yourself is, it varies from person to person, and that's why that message is never gonna go away. So I'm just saying, like, that's not really a bad thing. What's one thing you want the people to know about you now? Something personal that is gonna lead into the artistry.
Basically where I came from. Like I'm not trying to say I'm big or anything, like big and famous. Like no, I'm like none of that. Like nowhere near it. But when it comes to like music quality, I literally, like, my parents like never supported my music, and I used to have to hide and make my music and stuff. I used to have to make music during lunch at school 4 or 5 years ago, but BandLab wasn't big at the time. Like BandLab didn't have all these effects. I used to like sneak at lunch and record, like while all this chatter and stuff is going on in the background. Like one thing people should know, like if you're trying to make music, like you can start anywhere and like just take off from there. I couldn't record at home, always recording at lunch, and I used to have a friend I used to always record with, but you can really just start from anywhere. That's one thing I feel like everyone should know. Like, no matter what you have, you just do it.
Wow, that's inspirational as fuck. I used to hide it. I still keep it low key when it comes to my family. About all the stuff I do when it comes to the music stuff. I mean, I just tell them I'm working, and I'm like, that, just deduce what you will from that. If you could have 3 superpowers, what would they be?
I'm super speed and to really be a power, but like just making people like me as soon as they see me, like off of first impression.
Like they automatically gonna fuck with you?
Like, yeah, like obsessed with me type shit. Like, okay. Like to an extent, but yeah. I
would totally pick that power too. That's why, that's low key why I do this in the first place. Like I'm gonna have so much, like I'm gonna have groupies, bro. So I get it. Earlier you were talking about, like starting from anywhere, recording at lunch. And so what would you say to that younger version of yourself? Like you say you went back in time and you saw yourself at the cafeteria recording into your little phone or whatever. Like what would you say is advice to that person just starting out?
Me at the time, I was so focused on the fact that I wasn't really making progress at all. So I would tell myself at the time, it's not about progress you make. It's really about like just keep working and improving and shit, because like over time your music and your quality will get better. Like don't focus on none of that shit. Just focus on getting your craft out there and perfecting it, because like you're not gonna blow up and get like 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 or million streams like off your first few songs. So like just keep working and shit, perfecting your craft, and you'll be fine throughout. Like just trust the process, really. Once
you get to that point of like 100K streams on a song you ain't even really care about, or like that high tier artistry, that level of success, what do you plan to do with it?
Man, it depends. Like if I'm making a living off of it, I'm sort of like set on like housing and stuff for life at the moment. So I would still stay in the same house that I'm living in and just continue to grow with what I have. I'm be real smart with my money, but if I'm not making a living off of it, I would just continue to do basically no matter where I am, I would do the same thing that I'm doing right now. Like I don't plan on like blowing money on like insanely expensive items. I would just continue to do the same thing that I'm doing now, like making music and dropping consistently.
A lot of people hype up like success, when personally I think that there's degrees to success. And to me, I think the first degree of success is like to just go do something. If I want to lose weight, my first degree of success is to start dieting or go to the gym. It's not necessarily being this skinny fit guy, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with rap music. My first degree of success is to make a good song, or just to make a song in general. Then the 100K streams gonna come later. Being able to make a living off of your music, your brand, is like really powerful. Out of the roster of songs you have out right now, which is your own favorite song?
Say I I Go Crazy. That has to be my most favorite song. I really didn't know what I was doing with that song, but I dropped it. Like I hated the song at first, and then I kept having like a lot of people hitting me up, being like, "Yo, this shit's fire." And I'm like, I listened to it again, like over time. I'm like, damn, this shit's heat. I honestly think that's my best song out right now.
Did you ever see people switch up? Like they see the song was popping, and then like some people who doubted you switched up on you?
Just that song, or like with my music in general?
Yeah, your music in general.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely that. Like, once again, don't get me wrong. I'm not big and famous or anything like that. But like people from school, like hella people from school back whenever, because they used to hear my shit from, like I said, whenever I was rapping and like the cafeteria and shit. They went from that to hearing my music now. They went from like a year ago to not even a year ago, like 3 years ago to now. Just skip that whole entire period, and they're like, damn, this is what this shit sounds like now. Like, so yeah, like hella people switched up, because I used to get called ass. I had the nickname Bones in school because I was so skinny and like my music was ass. Like, not saying Bones is ass, but I was hell yeah, a lot of people switched up over time.
If you don't mind me asking, what would you say to those people?
I mean, honestly, I have no hate for them, because honestly, I kind of needed that to keep going. Like, so like I kind of appreciate them shitting on me back then. I mean, if they're supporting me now, I appreciate all the support I can get. Like, actually, like, so thank you for pushing me on, everyone who like shitted on my music back then.
Yeah, it's crazy how like oftentimes we're afraid of the rejection, but that rejection motivates us towards the success we wanted in the first place. Do you have any hobbies other than music?
Well, for one, I used to like stream gaming and shit like that. I used to I'm pretty sure I'm like hella above average at like Call of Duty and shit like that, because I used to take that shit hella serious before I started getting back into music. A YouTube channel for it. When I have I don't know if this is a hobby, but I'm going into the military pretty soon, so I don't know how I'm gonna balance that out with music. But I don't have to think of it. I don't have many hobbies. It's just that, the military and gaming and shit, and roller skating, but that's about it.
How would you say like gaming and like the like certain games really affect me and like the way that I come at music? What would you say for yourself?
It actually does, because that like I feel like if I didn't game, like if I didn't game at all and I just went like to do music and stuff, I kind of actually like block off a lot of the people that I met online, because I met most of the people that I met online from the games and shit. So like I would probably be like your everyday hood rapper and shit that's trying to like sound like no fucking young boy or some shit like that. But whenever like after gaming over time and shit, I met a lot of content creators. I met a lot of like people online, really. So I feel like that actually influenced me to like change my sound too. So probably in the slightest bit, but I feel like that kind of changed my sound and the topics that I rap about as well. So yeah.
One thing I notice in the underground community is like certain imagery comes from video games. Like one thing I see floating around is like Black Ops 1 zombies, right? Like certain sound effects, like insta kill. They'll put that in the song and it'll be hard as fuck. And I feel like, if you missed out on that era of gaming, if you really weren't a part of that, you're almost out of touch, because there's a lot of themes, a lot of aesthetics that come from that era. How you mentioned earlier, like, man, if I didn't play games, I'd probably be one of these hood rappers trying to sound like Youngboy. Do you feel like that type of rap music is like, where is that headed? Where do you see that type of rap music in 5 years?
I still like low key, because of it being such a big genre, I feel like it's still like there's still a possibility for like it to grow, like hella like potential for it to grow and shit. Like, and I'm not dissing anybody that's trying to like sound like that, but at the same time, with certain people that's trying to make that kind of music, it sounds the same and it sounds generic, and like not even just for that genre, like any genre like sizzlecore and all that shit, but like with that genre, I feel like harder to like really blow up in, because like it's a lot of people trying to do that shit. So I mean, like big, but it's hard to pave your way through that shit because of how big it is.
I feel like there's a certain element to it now where when you turn on the TV, Macy's ad, right? You watch a commercial. Back in the day, they used to have like Maroon 5 on a commercial, and I remember like rejecting. I still to this day consciously reject listening to stuff like Maroon 5 because it's so commercial. At that point, I feel like it loses its soul. I see the same thing happening to like that style of rap music, and I feel like that's part of the reason why you feel that way.
Yeah, it's so promoted to where like at this point I just kind of like reject anything mainstream. Like everything I listen to, like nobody knows like who this artist is, and like who the fuck are you listening to? And I'm like, track 3035 or some shit on SoundCloud.com. Like shit, bro.
Would you say like there's a rebellious streak about the underground? What I mean by that is like, I'm not gonna listen to mainstream music. You can't always relate to the mainstream music because it's so normal. Like in my opinion, like I feel like it's so general that I lose connection. I don't feel as connected to the music because it's so general and common.
Are you saying like, do I feel like that's people have the same feeling towards the underground kind of music type shit?
Do you think the underground despises the mainstream to a certain extent? Like they look down on mainstream shit?
Yeah, I feel like there's like a few people who like fuck with like the underground shit and then fuck with the mainstream shit. But I feel like the majority is like kind of like trying to like section it off and like divide it from like this to that.
What would you say in life, like who are some of your biggest role models and what's the source of your like largest inspiration?
I don't really have celebrity role models whenever it came to life. It's mostly been my dad. My dad helped me out with like a lot of situations whenever it came to like women, money, and just like general advice with like anything. So like my biggest role model in life would probably be my dad. When it came to celebrities and shit, it probably was X, because I grew up listening to nothing but X. Like before he was even famous, before he even got locked up, I was listening to X. So
that's about it. That's all I have for you. If you want to give out any special shout outs, any special comments, disses, likes, whatever you want, now's the time to say it.
Shout out my nigga Perpy, with producer nigga bro from Philadelphia. Shout out that nigga. That nigga's been my friend for like 4 years. Met that nigga online and like still to this day I still know that nigga. Crazy. And any disses Perpy, that nigga a bitch. Appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
Hey man, listen, I was happy to have you on. You're definitely a figure in the underground. Like your name comes up, you know, like you're a part of the bubble. Like I really feel like there's a certain tier, like the underground is separated into tiers, not necessarily genres, and you're a rising star. So I was honored to have you on. Listen, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. That's good to hear.
Listen, don't sleep on my boy, cause like I said, he's a rising star. So like, comment, subscribe, go follow. @ is in the description. Okay, it's been me, and I'm out.